I'm making a favor report. That means I get to talk for a little while. I wanted to update people because we've been following this, obviously, potential deal for quite some time, and there's been a lot of other reporting around it. Let me at least share what I'm aware of at the present moment. And the main part of which is these two companies are talking. They've been talking for weeks about a deal in which Paramount would buy Warner Brothers Discovery for a largely cash deal, but with some stock. What is at issue, of course, is exactly what the price would be and what the composition of said offer would be as well when it comes to cash and stock. And on this part, it doesn't appear that a great deal of progress is being made, based at least on the conversations I've had with people close to the situation. It doesn't say that they won't be able to make progress. It doesn't say that this board of directors at some point won't say, oh, there's a number we could take. But it does not appear that that has yet been the case. Obviously, were it the case, we probably would have gotten a press release telling us of this actual transaction. Now, on the Warner Brothers side, as we've said many times, they're looking at a split of the company that they believe will create real value. And there certainly is a belief as well that when that split occurs, let's call it April of next year, almost immediately thereafter, there may be great interest in the studio and streaming part of the business that will be separated from the global networks. And that a potential bidder there could pay a very large price that would be in excess of whatever Paramount is currently able to offer. That said, time, risk, any number of other things, particularly given the history of this company, the difficulties that it still faces when it comes to linear networks, you would imagine that if, in fact, they were able to get up to a price that I've indicated previously, based on at least informed speculation, could be as high as, let's say, 24, largely cash, that the board of directors of Warner Brothers would say, we'll take that. Don't believe that that has been the case as yet. And so the question is, if and when Paramount will say, we haven't been able to make enough progress here, we're at least going to make our offer public, whatever that offer may be, and we're going to leave it up to shareholders to try to pressure the company. They don't have any real mechanism that typically companies would rely on in terms of a forcing function here, a la a shareholder vote, the likes of which we were just talking about, for example, with Core Scientific, or some other mechanism. The only one, you can call a special meeting, consent, but you got to get 20% of the votes in order to call that special meeting. And those shareholders who vote have had to hold their shares for at least a year. That's a high bar, very high. So, Jim, this is going to be an interesting one. My sense is, given the weeks that have already gone by since the original leak of their interest at Paramount, that they're either going to want to try and get something done privately fairly soon, or perhaps we will see it. Larry Ellison, my understanding is, remains committed to a potential transaction here, is fully bought in on it. It's not as though there would not be other investors that conceivably would come along. And there is a willingness on the part of Paramount, is my understanding as well, to at least offer, for example, David Zaslav a chairman's title of some kind for a period of time and things of that nature, so they could address, the so-called social issues that also can become important. But ultimately, this is going to be up to the board of Warner Brothers if they hit a number that is, that many shareholders would say, hey, that's a number we can accept. It's Anthony Noto. It's Anton Levy. It's Faisal. It's, any number of strong directors on that board.
Heavyweight board.
It's a fairly strong board that conceivably will say it's not just about what David Zaslav wants.
I think that, David, this is the most logical deal you could have in a very challenged industry, where you see the stocks. Many of these stocks, this stock, of course, was doing a little bit better before this because of the studio.
But it was also a $10 stock not that long ago before.
Look, this is what all of us are hoping in terms of, remember you said, in Trader, that I'm on the board, that you said I was working with CoreWeave.
No, I just said you weren't being objective.
Okay, right. Well, I don't want to be objective about our industry. These are the things that have to happen for our industry to have some sustenance.
And there would be enormous synergies there.
Yeah, I'm just saying you can
and of course, putting CNN and CBS together, 200 million streaming subs. The idea of making 40 movies a year when you put Paramount and Warner Brothers Studios together. These are all the benefits that at least Paramount would see. And we are keeping a close eye on that stock price, which is hanging in there. But obviously, as we've said many times, doesn't have a particularly large float.
But there is, without a doubt, a raison d'etre for doing this deal. You want to own that one because it's going to be a winner in a very challenging industry.
And as well, I've made the point many times as well, this is Paramount's opportunity because there is no one else expected to come in here, as I've said many times.
But why did they
during
do
this
it if not for
period
this?
where they would make a bid for the entire company as opposed to waiting to be on the other end of the split when you conceivably would be facing competition?
Don't you think they did this in order to be able to get that? I mean, it's such a great thing for Paramount if they get it. If Paramount doesn't get it, then what is it going to do? Like, what has it got?
I don't know. I don't know. It's
really
it's story. Again, linear networks are challenged. So, Carl, we'll keep an eye on it. There you see what's going on.
Right.